Yom Kippur and the Manchester incident. The Islamic terrorist attack on the Manchester Synagogue on Yom Kippur is contemptible, but not surprising. The protests and celebrations directly following, even more so, with alarming similarities to the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk killing. The Jewish community in the UK have been under threat for years, but particularly within the last 2 years, and of course are a sworn enemy of fundamental Islam. Many groups have blood on their hands for this incident. The government for allowing fundamental Islamic extremism to germinate in the UK. The perpetrator and his family were clearly and fundamentally extremist, despite being a British citizen and a recorded criminal. The Free Palestine protesters for spouting anti-Semitism and indeed crystallising their view by celebrating the incident with violent protests. The perpetrator cried out that he was acting on behalf of murdered children in Palestine as he attacked. The left wing and wokeism for supporting and encouraging such ideology which is clearly anti-Semitic. What about the 150,000 women and children slaughtered in Sudan? What about the 55,000 Christians slaughtered by Muslim extremists in Nigeria? What about the tens of thousands of civilians murdered in Yemen, all over the same time period of Palestine? So what going forward? Why haven't the protests been banned by the government? They've asked them to nicely not protest, and they basically refused. Why hasn't the violence of these protests been condemned, as they condemned the Unite the Kingdom march? Incidentally, the results of that march are now out. Of the 1.6 million Unite the Kingdom marchers, there were 8 arrests made, 5 of which were for violence. The remaining 17 arrests on that day were made against the concurrent anti-racist march of about 2,000 protesters, to put it into context. Why are we now only saying that the Jewish community needs to be protected after decades of attack and fear? Perhaps because Labour doesn't traditionally attract the Jewish vote? Perhaps because of the fear of finger-pointing at either the Islamic community or the woke left, both of whom traditionally do vote for Labour. This will happen again, unfortunately, either against the Jewish community or the Christian community. What will the Free Palestine protesters do now that the peace agreement between Israel and Hamas has been agreed? Will they continue to protest? And if so, what are they protesting for? In light of this happening on Yom Kippur, what will happen on Remembrance Day on the 11th of November?